What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today I got a lot I want to talk about. I want to talk about some Iron Banner. I want to talk about Nightfall and the Nightfall loot drops. And I want to talk about YouTube setups a little bit. So let's start with the Iron Banner. This week I leveled up one character to rank 5 in the Iron Banner. And I gotta be honest with you, I found it to be a little bit boring. Compared to some of the new stuff we've been doing in Destiny, things like Trials of Osiris, things like King's Fall Raid, all of this new stuff we've gotten since the Taken King, or even some of the new PvP stuff we've gotten, the Iron Banner just feels kind of old and kind of dated. Now, I will say this. I ran into much less lag issues in the Iron Banner this week than I ever have in the past. And I gotta congratulate Bungie on that. But I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the Iron Banner anymore. To me, it feels dated, it feels old, and I'm ready for them to switch it up. I don't want them to get rid of the Iron Banner, but I definitely would like to see them switch a few things up. First of all, I don't know if just limiting the Iron Banner to control is really what we need anymore. It feels like it's just the same game played over and over for a week, and it takes a lot of grinding to get all the gear that you may want from the Iron Banner each time it comes up. So you play it a lot, but you're only playing one game mode, and somehow it just feels much more grindy than even Trials of Osiris, which you also play one game mode, but it feels fresher somehow. It's smaller groups. You're playing with friends normally. With Iron Banner, you might be playing with friends. You might be playing with randoms. Somehow, this game type just seems like vanilla Destiny. It still feels very vanilla Destiny. Even though they've changed up a lot of the mechanics around how loot works, the game type itself just doesn't. It needs a freshening, right? It just needs a reboot, a refresh, to kind of give some new life to the Iron Banner. I would really appreciate that, because in the past I've really enjoyed Iron Banner, but compared to the newer stuff that we've got to do in Destiny, I feel like it just feels a little bit old. As far as loot goes in Iron Banner, I gotta say I was pretty underwhelmed. I did get pretty much everything I wanted. I got the new pulse rifle, which I haven't played with much yet, so you know, as I get a better feel for it, I'll probably tell you guys what I think of it. But I can tell you that I died to it quite often, so I suspect it's pretty damn good. Also, the new sidearm. I didn't love the new sidearm. Sidearms are in a weird place right now inside the PvP game of Destiny. The problem is that shotguns just kill so fast from such a long distance. To use any other close-range gun, like a fusion rifle or a sidearm, you're really at a disadvantage, and that's what it really comes down to. Even if you're really good with a sidearm, you have to be really good at keeping space between you and that shotgun user, and that can be difficult, especially when that shotgun user has tools like Blink or Shade Step at his disposal. So not super overwhelmed with the sidearm, and I didn't even go with any of the armor. The armor wasn't all that appealing to me. The only thing that really looks appealing to me so far with armor are the helmets, and you know, I understand that you're gonna want the full set, but you know, over the past few Iron Banners, over the past few seasons of Iron Banner, I've collected all the gear and I've dismantled all the gear, right? None of it was all that good, especially when you compare it to raid gear or to Trials of Osiris gear. Some of it looked pretty cool. I think especially the first season Iron Banner gear looked really good, but it just wasn't that special. And I think that Iron Banner gear needs to have more of a PvP focus, something that really sets it apart. You know, dropping at 280 as well, or you know, buying it at 280, it's like, man, do I really want to buy this piece of armor? Am I going to infuse it up to level 300 or 310 or wherever I'm going to go with this? I don't know. The Iron Banner gear, it needs some love. I feel like it looks pretty cool, but the stats, the perks, they don't really excite me. I also want to talk about the Nightfall a little bit. So, Nightfall rewards suck. We all know that, right? There's basically no reason to compete in the Nightfall. If you use a 3 of coins, you might be able to get an exotic to drop from the Ultra at the end, the boss at the end. But it's much easier to just go into a strike playlist and use a 3 of coins there and do it in 10 minutes instead of an hour or an hour and a half. And I think that is a problem that Bungie didn't foresee, right? Is they expected that people would be getting these exotics from 3 of coins. They could use those in a Nightfall. They could use them in a strike. But the Nightfalls just aren't worth doing right now because the rewards aren't that hot. They used to be, you know, primo rewards, right? You used to get tons of exotics out of Nightfalls. You used to get a lot of legendaries out of Nightfalls. Now it seems all you get is strange coins, 3 coins, and other stuff that you don't really want that much. You're not getting exotics. I think week 1 of year 2, we were guaranteed an exotic out of the Nightfall, but since then I haven't seen an exotic drop, and the Nightfalls are pretty hard. This year, the Nightfalls are definitely amplified in their difficulty, and that makes it, you know, take a long time. And if I'm comparing the amount of time that's going to take me to run a Nightfall with 2 friends to the amount of time it's going to take me to run a raid, guess which one is going to give me better loot rewards? The raid, definitely. So why would I do the Nightfall if all I'm going to get is some 3 coins out of it? There's not a whole lot of drive there. So today we're actually going to get a patch for Nightfall loot rewards. That's actually coming in about an hour as I'm recording this video, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do. I really want to see them say, hey, guaranteed legendary drops from the Nightfall and a very good chance at exotic drops from the Nightfall. That's what I want to hear them say. What we're actually going to hear them say, who knows? You know, we'll be looking intently at the patch notes for today's patch. But man, like Nightfalls at this point, they're just content that's not worth doing, which is a shame because they've really changed up the way Nightfalls work. They've changed the modifiers, they've made it much more difficult, and I think if the rewards were good, it would be a lot of fun to compete in those Nightfalls. But the way the rewards are now, your time is just better spent in other parts of Destiny, which is a shame. So the last thing I want to talk about today is my setup. You might hear that my voice sounds a little bit different. I've actually drastically changed my YouTube and streaming setup yesterday, kind of over the weekend and yesterday. I've been working on this. That's why videos have been coming a little bit slower for me for the last couple of days. Now I've pretty much got it set up. I still got to tweak it. I got to dial it in. I got to get everything sounding and performing exactly the way I want it to. But basically, I got a new dynamic microphone and a mixing board to go with it. Now, this is primo geek stuff. I'm going to put a picture of it up on the screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about with this mixing board. Now, this mixing board is definitely more than I need right now for YouTube, for streaming, but I wanted something that would grow with me. I didn't want to spend money on something that was going to limit me later and then be like looking for something better. I definitely wanted to buy something that was going to kind of grow with me, and this is definitely that. And it gives me a lot of options. I can do a lot of stuff with a mixing board like that. I can port in a lot of different sounds, sound effects, music, my voice. It gives me a much better range of microphones to pick from. I started YouTube using a Blue Yeti microphone, which is a great beginner USB microphone, but I was ready to move up. I was ready to move on, and this was kind of one of those things. And to be honest with you, it's really fun. I'm a major nerd, and I really like playing with all this stuff. So it's been super fun to kind of learn how this mixing board works, how to best get sound out of a dynamic microphone, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun. That's going to do it for this video. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.